Hello guys, welcome to a tutorial, and today I'm going to show you our webinar app here on Builderall and how to create your own webinars. So here you're going to see this menu and you're just going to click new webinar. Here you're just going to give it a simple name and a simple description. You have the option to protect with password, but we'll just bypass this for now and I'll create the webinar. You're going to bring up the editing menu here. Here you'll be able to give it a name, this description. You already did this, but it lets you edit it at any time. If you've already got a live link that you plan on using for a different service, you can put it here. If you have a recorded link, you can put that here as well for something you might have already recorded. The email signature is something like your full name. And then again, here you can choose to protect it with password and change the format from US to European. For content, you can choose to use a YouTube video, an iframe from something you've already created, a video you've already created for your computer, or any of the webinars that you record with our tool. If I choose to open the streaming tool here, it'll open up our streaming tool. You would check if you wanted to stream to RTMP. You would check here if you wanted to record to your recorded webinars, and you can check here if you're going to have a room for people to participate in a live stream. If I were to open this tool, it would bring up a new screen where you would have to allow your camera and your microphone, and then you'll be able to start streaming there. For the purpose of this video, I'm not going to open that, but you would get the picture. You would just click here, it would open up, and then you just begin recording, or it could be a live stream to people for people to see live. And then also here to note that the disable controls, if you want to disable people from pausing or fast forwarding or anything like that, you can check here. To schedule, you can set the duration that you plan on having the webinar be, or a set duration for a live stream for it to end. Typically people do this around 30 minutes or depending on how long a meeting would be. Then to schedule it, it could be on demand, meaning they'd be able to watch it at any time. It could start by a time. You could schedule it based on a certain time for it to start. And then also you can start by a button, meaning that they will click a button such as this that will open up the webinar. The chat settings here, you'll be able to enable the chat or disable the chat feature. A lot of people do the chat as it gives your customers and your clients a way to communicate with each other. The pre-moderation, you could check this or uncheck this if you want it to be pre-moderated. They could save the chat history by clicking this. You can clear the comments every 24 hours, meaning that they will automatically refresh every day a new empty comment section. And then this is where you can have ghost users. You can click edit, and then you can even set names and times for these ghost users to log on, so to speak, by giving them a name and even a message that you want them to say. You can set the height of the chat by a certain percentage and also the max amount of messages that you'll allow in the chat board. If we go to statistics, this is going to give you some general statistics on the webinar that you've created. Over time, this will change depending on when you broadcast your webinar. A couple other things here. We have the Mailing Boss public and private key. You would use these for a list if you wanted to integrate your webinar, and the people that join it will be added to a Mailing Boss list. A lot of times people have to enter an email and a name to join this anyways. So you would use these keys and it would add them to a list that corresponds with these keys. Also for Mailing Boss tracking, if you're using Mailing Boss tracking services using the Mailing Boss integration key, you can put your Mailing Boss integration key here. Any reference tags that you'd be using that you would want to correspond with your webinar, and it would work with the webinar in that way. And then finally, this is where you can translate some of the words that will appear on the webinar. If you want to change the way that they will appear for a certain language, you can just type out the separate language here, and then it would show up on the live event in a different language. And then once you're done editing the webinar and you have it on this screen, all you're going to need to know here is that you can delete it, go back to edit it. You can use this is going to give you the embed code and the ID and the secrets. So this is what you're going to input when you go to the builder and you're going to select the webinar tool. You're going to input these into there so it will display your webinar. And then this right here is going to be the administrative menu, where you'll kind of be able to see what it looks like when they view it from the website or wherever you have it displayed. So that basically wraps up the webinar. I hope you guys enjoy this tool, and of course, have a great day.